Okay, so today's video, what I want to talk about is how we put on, and maybe we'll take on, some people will take on, they will put on, they would internalize the shame of the narcissist or cluster B personality. This is what I want to talk about today, because this is something that will take away from a person's livelihood. It doesn't add on to it. Sure, a lot of us have challenges, a lot of us go through things. However, when we're talking about a relationship, really it's a dysfunctional and toxic relationship. It's the most toxic relationship anyone can have, and that is with the narcissist or cluster B personality. When we are talking about that, we are talking about a different ball game. Okay, there's your typical dysfunctional relationship, but then there's your dysfunctional relationship with the narcissist and or cluster B personality. There's a whole lot of things that happen to a person. Okay, there's a lot of experiences that a person has when they're in a relationship with a narcissist and cluster B personality that is not like it would be if they were in a relationship with someone who didn't have a personality disorder, like a cluster B personality or a narcissistic personality. Okay, there's different personality disorders. However, what I'm really going to be talking about in today's video is some of the adverse effects that just having a relationship with a cluster B personality and a narcissist can be. One of the things that happens is that the person tends to take on the shame. They tend to internalize the shame of the narcissist or cluster B personality. The narcissist and the cluster B personality has what you call a false self-image, and they must uphold that at the end of the day. I mean, that is a choice, yes. However, they're loyal to their false self-image only. The false self-image could be anything from them looking at themselves as a god and everybody else being inferior, to a person who is a martyr or a saint, no matter how many mistakes they've made. And they expect other people to view them as a martyr and or saint, regardless of how they're being treated. So this is something that's a little bit different from your typical dysfunctional relationship. And then when you have the relationship with the cluster B personality or narcissist, again, is a whole new game. So when you have the relationship with the narcissist and cluster B personality versus having a relationship with someone who does not have a cluster B personality or a narcissistic personality, however the relationship may be toxic, it may be dysfunctional, still is a whole new ball game. The contrast is there. It may be subtle on some levels, but the contrast is there. For instance, since the cluster B personality and the narcissist has a false self-image, he or she is loyal to that false self-image, being, surviving, and thriving. Okay, they're there for that. They're not in the relationship for you, okay, or anyone else. They're in the relationship to make sure that the false self-image is well supplied and fed, and that it is thriving and surviving in order to feed off of others. That's pretty much how I would summarize that. So when you have a relationship with someone who may not necessarily have a cluster B personality or a narcissistic personality, yet the relationship is dysfunctional, you're not going to find that their behavior, even though it's dysfunctional, the behavior is dysfunctional. However, their tactics to dominate in the relationship is quite different from that of a narcissist or a cluster B personality. It's quite different. However, the contrast between these two types of relationships, even though they're both dysfunctional, however, what makes those contrasts less obvious or is very subtle is, again, when the cluster B personality and or the narcissist is doing everything in his or her power to make sure that their false self-image rules at the end of the day. Cluster B personality and narcissists, they have influenced others to go into debt. Okay, and in other words, they indirectly set it up. They set that scenario up with people that they are so-called claiming to love or care about. They're involved with these people. When we wear the narcissist shame, again, this is only one adverse effect of having been involved with the cluster B personality or narcissist. That is to take on their shame, maybe to even internalize it. And that can go on for years, okay, to the point where that person is really not living their lives to the fullest. For instance, today, this morning, you know, I had my ball cap on and everything because I got up early and I said, you know what, it's supposed to be a nice day today. It's supposed to be warmer than usual today. So I went on out and I took a walk. I got out in nature a little bit this morning. So, you know, that's why I'm looking like I wanted to do this video while certain things were on my mind. So again, excuse the appearance. Anyway, I went out earlier today and I got to thinking about certain things. And when I went out this morning, I said, I wonder how many people that have been involved with the narcissist or the cluster personality, whereas what I did this morning, it would be very difficult for them to do. I mean, to the point where they will just not do it. Some people are afraid to live their lives. That's the point I'm making. They are afraid to live their lives due to the experiences they have had being involved with the narcissist and cluster personality. So this is what I really want to get into today on the video. Again, check out the description. If I haven't mentioned, I don't think I did, but anyway, check out the description box below, and please like and share this video. So when I went out earlier and I was thinking about that, I said, you know what, to me that is so sad. That really breaks my heart, because I know that there are a lot of people, just due to the testimonies I've heard, and then even interacting with some people that I know for a fact they were involved with a cluster personality and or a narcissist, because they shared that. Okay, some of those individuals, it's very difficult for them to just enjoy their lives, because for one thing, there's the memories of all of the shenanigans, all of the toxicity, all of the sources, supplies, tactics that the narcissist and cluster personality has. A lot of that, the memories are still there. And you know what? Our bodies remember, even when we try not to remember, even though we want to put it away in our minds, our bodies remember. So every time that we were interacted with the narcissist or cluster personality, so it can be years later, and they are wishing to live their lives another way, but they feel that they're still entrapped. They still feel like they're in that prison. They may not live physically around the narcissist anymore. They may not be around the cluster personality or the narcissist anymore. However, it is still like there's a shadow over their lives. They would like to go out more often. They would like to have more relationships. But this is difficult because they're wearing the shame of the narcissist. All of the things that the narcissist didn't like about his or herself was projected onto others. Certain other people have not only had that projected on them, but they internalized it. They carried it. They put it on like a coat. When you are internalizing somebody else's shame or the other things they may not like about themselves and they have project onto you, I'm here to tell you, you have to try to find a way to get rid of that. You have to get that off of you. One of the ways to do that is to clear that energy. Some people have been carrying that for a long time. So we're talking about working through decades. Working through decades. Now, I'm not saying all this to discourage. I'm simply pointing out how when people have, I'm simply pointing out how when some people have been accustomed to carrying the shame of the narcissist, it is just not that easy. It's not going to happen overnight to take that off. It's a process. One of my rhetorical questions to you is, how committed to your healing are you? Are you willing to start taking one step at a time to get that off of you? We're talking about energy that has to be redirected. Okay, you don't want to keep on holding on to that energy and having that energy in your life. You want to redirect it so it will go away. Energy cannot be destroyed, but it can be transferred. So when a person starts to clear that energy, it's a game changer. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the adverse effects of having been involved with a cluster personality and or narcissist. I'm Luminousz Star. I want to thank you for your time again, and I certainly hope that you will enjoy this video. And hello, this is Luminousz Star. Welcome to the channel. All of my current subscribers, thank you so much for your subscription. Thank you for being my stars. Thank you so much for inspiring me and motivating me to keep this channel, Luminousz Star, active. All of you who are visiting for the first time, welcome. And I would love it if you would join the Star family by hitting that subscription button below. We welcome you to the Luminousz Star channel. Today's video is adverse effects of narcissistic abuse. I'm going to be going over a few points as well as a few tools, so please mind that description box below. Don't forget to like and or share today's video. First point,
The unhealthy relationship with the narcissist and those with the cluster B personality are not typical unhealthy relationships, whereas the dysfunctional behavior patterns of the aggressor is a lack of empathy, remorse, and foresight. So when we're looking at a person who may be a part of a dysfunctional relationship, one or both people, matter of fact, all participants of the dysfunctional relationship may not have a personality disorder. Now, we're talking about the cluster B personality and the narcissistic personality, which is a personality disorder. So with them being the aggressor in the dysfunctional relationship, their behavior patterns is a person who lacks empathy, remorse, and foresight. Whereas a person who may be a part of a dysfunctional relationship and an aggressor, they may not have those issues. Okay, so this is where the, this is where the contrast comes in. This is why the unhealthy relationship with the narcissist or the cluster B personality is not your typical unhealthy relationship. Okay, so this is a person who has a personality disorder, whereas if they are the aggressor in the relationship, they lack foresight, they lack remorse, and they lack empathy. Meaning when they have dysfunctional behaviors, they are not remorseful, they don't look at their behaviors, and they don't feel any empathy for some of the hurt that they may cause others. Whereas someone else who is in a dysfunctional relationship and they may have dysfunctional behavior patterns, they may later down the line feel some remorse. They may see that they have contributed to the dysfunctional relationship in some way, shape, or form. And then they may feel empathy. They may feel some sympathy. They may feel some remorse. Okay, so this is where the contrast comes in with the unhealthy relationships between a narcissist and those who do not have the cluster B personality or the narcissistic personality disorder. All right, the cluster B personality and the narcissistic personality disorder is a personality which is fixed. There are some who have, for instance, battered their romantic partners, have taken full responsibility for his or her actions in order to change dysfunctional behavior. As I stated in the previous slide, a person who has a personality disorder like the cluster B and a narcissistic personality, this will not happen. They will not take full responsibility for their actions. 5 years from now, even 50 years from now, they're not going to do it because they have a personality disorder that is fixed, meaning it's very slim chance to none that it will ever change, no matter who, what, or where, or even why. Next point. Narcissists and those with a cluster B personality do not see that their behavior is dysfunctional due to their personality disorder. Therefore, healing will not take place as long as the dysfunctional relationship remains active. So this is often why a lot of us who have been in the dysfunctional relationship with a narcissist and a cluster B personality, nothing has changed. And it's been decades. The same problems, the same shenanigans, the same dysfunctional and toxic shenanigans and scenarios, pardon me. So the same thing is happening. It might be a different place, okay? Different type of situation. Therefore, the theme of the relationship does not change. The theme is toxicity. The theme is dysfunctional. It doesn't change, no matter how many years go by. No matter how much we are willing to work with or negotiate with the narcissist and cluster B personality, nothing changes because their personality disorder, for one thing, is very fixed. It's not going to change. The narcissist and those with the cluster B personality, they do not see that they're part of the problem. The cluster B personality and the narcissist, they do not think that they're part of the problem. Therefore, they're less likely to seek counseling or any type of help. They think other people have the problem. What's the first step to healing or recovery? To admit that there's a problem. The narcissist and cluster B personality, they have a fixed personality. It's not going to change. You're not going to get them to admit any part of the relationship. You know, they're not going to take responsibility for how they showed up in your life. They're not going to take responsibility for what they did to contribute to your life at all, especially if it has caused you any grievances. They're not going to take responsibility for any part of it. So the cluster B personality and the narcissist, yeah, they have a fixed personality. So they're not going to see their dysfunctional behavior as part of the problem. They're not going to link their dysfunctional behavior to their personality disorder. Other people may see it, but the narcissist and the cluster B personality, everyone who tries to get them to see it, they're wasting their time. They're going to be disappointed. The narcissist and cluster B personality will profess, and they will make excuses, and they will dip and dodge and avoid taking responsibility for any part of the relationship. Okay, so it's a waste of time to try to convince them that their behavior pattern is part of the problem. They have a personality disorder. Characteristics of narcissistic personality. They tend to be defiant, haughty, hateful, spiteful, neurotic, predatory nature, masochist, manipulative, exploitive, rageful, deceptive, self-righteous, unconscious, delusional. Usually they have delusions of grandeur. All right, so these are some of the characters. It's so many more, but I just wanted to come up with the ones that I knew right off the top of my head. Okay, so the characteristics of narcissistic personality. All right, so I want to really talk about how sometimes they do things out of spite. So they can be quite spiteful. When you think about it, a lot of the things that they do, the tactics, the shenanigans, the drama, is quite spiteful. All you got to do is think about all the times that you caught them red-handed in a lie, or you caught them doing something they had no business doing, and then they look at you like you're wrong. And then sometimes you just get this sense, you just know that they're saying and doing certain things to try to hurt you, okay? And this can be quite spiteful. They like the tit for tat. They like the cat and mouse game. They like the one-upmanship. This is something that really a lot of narcissists and cluster B personalities, they are notorious for. So when you look at them being spiteful, that is something that I think this is one of their strongest characteristics, is being spiteful. A lot of the things that narcissists and cluster B personality seems to do seems to be out of fear. So spite is not far behind that. When you take a person who is very insecure, has an inflated ego, okay, you see where I'm going with this? A person who likes to project their stuff onto others, they're behaving out of fear. So they tend to do things spitefully, and they like to exploit. So they can be quite exploitive. When a person tends to express his or her emotions, doesn't matter what the emotions are, the narcissist tends to exploit their capacity to express any type of emotion. The narcissist and a cluster B personality does not know how to emotionally regulate. Therefore, he or she feeds off of, or they tap into the energy fields of others in order to gain enough momentum or have enough energy to sustain in order to thrive forward. Because they lack their own energy. It's not that they don't have any energy. They lack their own energy. Therefore, they're not able to maintain and sustain their own energy in order to move forward or to exist. So they must go out and scout for source supply and tap into as many energy fields as possible. That gives them the momentum to continue to thrive forward, to feed off of so many others. I know that sounds disgusting, but that's what it is. The narcissist and cluster B personality, they do not emotionally regulate. They are emotionally immature. And I am also speaking of female narcissists, very immature. They tend to be very girl-like for a very long period of time. Okay, same with the male narcissist. They can't seem to come out of that little boy mentality. They can be 50 years old and they still have a little boy mentality. And a lot of them have a love-hate relationship with their mothers. Okay, a lot of them do. But anyway, I don't want to get too far into that. I just want to go ahead and point out a few of these characteristics here. So they do tend to be very self-righteous as well. So this is why it's a waste of time to try to tell the narcissist about themselves or try to convince them that their behavior is a problem, because they're going to look at you and say, no, you're the problem. A narcissist's weapon of choice is often verbal. Slander, lies, playing the victim, and flipped tales of who was the victim and who was the abuser. Gossip, rage, verbal abuse, and intentional infliction of emotional pain. It is a systematic dismantling of another person's relationships, reputation, emotional and physical, spiritual health, life, and very soul. This is why narcissists are so often called emotional vampires. And this is from Gail Myers. Okay, you can find this link in the description box below. All right, adverse effects of narcissistic abuse: insecurity, depression, anxiety, social anxiety, anger, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, but I usually like to say post-traumatic stress injury, mental illness, unfocused, shame, and guilt. See, a person tends to take on a lot of these things after the relationship, even after the relationship is over with the narcissist. A person may not have had a lot of insecurities in the first place. They may have had some. A lot of us do. But their insecurities increased after they had the relationship with the narcissist. Their depression deepened. They sunk down in the sunken place further. Anxiety increased, particularly social anxiety. Because before they were involved with the narcissist, maybe they were more outgoing. Maybe they enjoyed things a lot more. But this changed now, okay? After the relationship with the narcissist is over. And I'm including the romantic relationships here. Now, we can talk about every relationship you can think of. And these things apply. There may be increased anger. And again, symptoms of PTSD or post-traumatic stress injury may occur. Mental illness can increase. A lot of people, whether they want to admit it or not, okay, have some issues with mental illness. But this may increase after the relationship with the narcissist is over. They may become unfocused. There's a thing called cognitive impairments. Cognitive impairments is something I really want to challenge everyone to research, because this is how a person can become unfocused. All right. So another thing that happens is shame and guilt. The narcissist is notorious for guilt tripping people. They like to use the blame game. So this, in other words, they like to project all of their stuff onto others. And some people may begin to feel shame about certain things, such as having sexual desires. The narcissist and our cluster B personality, I'm not saying that they are totally at fault for someone becoming ashamed. However, this is one of the adverse effects of narcissistic abuse. A person may have more issues with shame after the relationship is over, as well as guilt. So one of the things that we can do to fight off or ward off despondency or come up out of the sunken place is to focus on what makes us happy, what gives us joy in life. All right, so I like this picture right here because, when we look at these words right here, we may feel some unpleasant emotions, but when we focus on what makes us happy, and when we focus on what makes us feel some joy, or even feel like we can thrive forward, this is a good thing. So even though we've noticed some of these things here, the best way, in my opinion, and from my personal experience, to ward off and fight off despondency is to focus on the smiles of life. What makes you happy? What makes you laugh? Okay? What's giving you that hope? What's giving you that extra strength and courage to thrive forward so you can meet other people, okay, and laugh and smile with them, other people that you resonate with. So even though these are the adverse effects, right, we don't have to stay in the sunken place. We can focus on what makes us laugh and smile and feel pretty good about life. Okay, because I know the narcissists, they're notorious for draining other people. Some people have gone into debt behind these individuals, the narcissists, in the cluster personality. Some people have depression and anxiety now, like never before. Now they're on meds. This is real. When we go through these things, it's good to try to counter that, right? Counter all these things by focusing on what makes us happy. Laugh more, okay? That helps me to see how far I've come. And it motivates me to continue to thrive forward. Tools. Tool number 1. Give yourself permission to begin grieving. The narcissist has nothing to do with your choosing to take your personal power back from him or her. Therefore, you do not need the narcissist's permission to live, and you don't. Unfortunately, some people who are romantically involved with the narcissist, they literally do have to get the permission of the narcissist to do something. Some of the narcissists are financially abusing their spouses. Some narcissists are financially abusing their lovers or whomever they may be romantically involved with by giving them an allowance, while at the same time they may be digging in their piggy bank or digging in their savings. So give yourself permission to begin grieving. There's 5 stages of grieving. The link is in the description box below for grieving. Please check that out. Tool number 2. Build your support base in order to continue to thrive forward past narcissistic abuse. Sharing your story may inspire and motivate others who resonate with your story to thrive forward as well. You never know who you're going to resonate with. You never, unless you try. You have to, be willing to try. And this is not easy, because when people have been involved with a narcissist, see, a thing called trust has been violated. So it's not easy to just jump back out there, okay, and start having relationships. In today's world, that probably wouldn't be a smart thing to do. See, the first person to start practicing trust with again is yourself. Start trusting yourself again. It's amazing how some people, they don't even trust themselves. They've had the relationship with the narcissist, and the narcissist has violated their trust, but they are further down in the sunken place because they don't even trust themselves. So I say one of the best ways to start building your support base and starting to trust again is to start with the person you see in the mirror. Start with the support base. Build the support base by drawing up the blueprint. The blueprint is how you envision your support base to look. When an architect is ready to build, the first thing they do is draw the blueprint. Then the building can start, or the development of the building can start. So build your support base in order to continue to thrive forward past narcissistic abuse. That's very important. Or this is something I want to challenge you to find out, how important is that to you, your support base. Sharing your story does inspire other people to thrive forward. You never know who's going to resonate with your story. But if you are unwilling to share your story, then you don't know who you will inspire. If you're not willing to share your story, this is no pressure here. I'm just making a point. If you are a person who's not willing to share your story, then in a sense, aren't you agreeing with the narcissist that what they did to you, the experiences you had with him or her, very unpleasant experiences you had with him or her, you're willing to keep their secret? Well, this is what woke me up. I decided I wasn't going to keep the narcissist or the cluster personality secret. It's just, I've decided that it wasn't doing me any good. It's not doing anyone else any good to keep the secrets of someone else, especially when those secrets has caused me grievances. Just something to think about. Third tool, practice personal boundaries, assertion, self-preservation, and emotional discipline, which is probably the best narcissist repellent there is. The narcissist cannot tap into the energy field of anyone who practices personal boundaries, assertion, self-preservation, and emotional discipline. I dare you to try it. Okay? That's what you can say to the narcissist. I dare you to try it. Once you start practicing personal boundaries, assertion, self-preservation, and emotional discipline, this is a great package deal. It's quite the game changer. It's a great package deal because it is the game changer that will end the game for the narcissist. It's a game changer for you, and it's a game over for the narcissist. The narcissist cannot tap into your energy field. This is how you're going to have a very strong defense. Not saying that as to say you're going to have a chip on your shoulder or a wall up. See, the signals that we send out is a direct reflection of the vibration that we're functioning on. So whatever vibration that you're functioning on, again, that's the signals you're going to be sending out. If your signal says that you are primed for source supply, that's because that's the vibration you're functioning on. And by simply getting mad with the narcissist, it's not going to change that. When you start to care about yourself and invest in yourself, that's what's going to change the vibration that you're functioning on. Once you change the vibration that you're functioning on, then your signal changes. Once your signal changes, then the narcissist is left starving. References and resources. Please check out in the description box below the references and resources. All right. And having said all that, I want to go ahead and thank everybody for joining me. I'm Luminousz Star. Stay tuned for more videos.